What is up, Jabroni's JJ back here talking little college basketball on a Sunday morning, February 20th. So yesterday, go one-on-one with my plays. I believe Stevie, did he go one-on-one? 1-1 or 2-0. Either way. Yeah, quite tilting, right? With Citadel. Yikes. If it makes you guys feel any better, I bet a Citadel under weeks ago where they played UNCG or Greensboro, as the cool kids say. I think the under was like 132 and a half, whatever it was. It was 40 points scored in the first half, where you kind of feel like you've cashed in under on just the first half alone. And then 100 points in the second half to lose. Yesterday was the exact opposite, 90 whatever points in the first half and then a 50-point second half. Shit happens. All you can do, and there's been so many of these late game weirdness things that have happened this season, right? But either way, it was a good day from yesterday. 4-1 overall. It's nice to profit some bennies in this sport because it's been tough sledding. But ultimately, hey, look, maybe we'll turn the corner, maybe we won't. Time will tell. What's up, Chip? What's up, Eric? But I think overall, just looking forward to today. Another day with some decent bets, at least favorable wise or favorable speaking. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Also, we got tennis, kind of in full gear. I'll see if I can get with spread this week. Maybe do a tennis video for you guys because you got a lot of tournaments piping up this week. In the next few weeks, got a few ATP WTA 1000s. So yeah, should be a good one. What's up, Austin, Jordan? And then Auburn, I didn't see it, but I did hear that they didn't even get a shot off late in that game. Just kind of wild. But needless to say, I think we're all used to college basketball having its idiosyncrasies, if you will. But I think overall, this year's been wild from A to Z. What's up, Leroy? So I think I said all you do is take a step backwards, try to look at things holistically, maybe change up your process a bit. Again, I bet so many first halves this year to try to offset what's been happening full games. So again, you just try to make little adjustments here and there, as you improve or try to improve. But yeah, for me, still kind of digging myself out of a hole. But I look forward to a challenge, right? So should be good all around. So today, some not so popular games that I like. Not that I'm targeting these specifically. It's just that these are the ones that make the most sense numbers wise. When I say not so popular, not like I'm fading the public, just low key mid-major games. So Detroit Mercy hosts Wright State, and yes, Wright State's the better team. If you ask many. However, Detroit Mercy hasn't played a lot of home games this year, and they have not lost once at home this year. So this team, and I said it in the video because I think we did the under video, right, with Northern Kentucky. I think that was the Thursday night video for Friday, where I said this team plays really good defense at home. There's a completely different beast there in their own gym, and they're going to be in their own gym today, obviously led by Mike Davis and Antoine Davis as well, or Antoine Davis, I guess, depending how you pronounce that. But he's a prolific scorer, and he's been playing really well recently. He plays much better at home, and I think that you're going to get a tough showing from them today. And I'd argue the wrong team is favored. Detroit should be a slight favorite here. Instead, we're getting 2. So I really like the spot. Detroit Mercy getting 2. It's at FanDuel -114 versus Wright State. I know you look back at the schedule, and Wright State blew this team out a few short weeks ago by 30. That was just a weird game, though. And again, Detroit wasn't home. So now they're home, and they play much better defense here, and they shoot better here. This is a spot where Detroit should be able to pile in from 3. They should get a lot of good looks. Wright State gives up a ton of good looks from 3. And look, Wright State's also not good inside either, so I think Detroit's going to have their offensive success. And look, Wright State's a really good offense. I was more concerned about pace here. Detroit in their own gym slows the game down because otherwise I would have said, I do like the over, but I can't bet the over because, again, Detroit has really set their own pace in their gym, and I expect this game to play relatively slow. And like I said, I expect overall, look, Detroit Mercy is going to get up their threes. I mean, they shoot a ton of threes every game, and Wright State can't defend the 3. So I just think overall you're going to get a good showing from Detroit here. To me, it's like the Citadel game I said yesterday. Like I think if Detroit Mercy, if you tell me they shoot 35% from three today, which really isn't that much, isn't that great, I think they win this game outright. But I'll take extra chances in other directions. I'll eliminate the derivatives and I'll just go, or I just went them plus the 2. Again, you can bet the money line if you're really feeling ballsy, but I like them plus 2. That game's at 1:00. Detroit Mercy plus 2 over Detroit State. That's at FanDuel. Okay. And the other game I'll give out, and then I'll start talking on some games you guys want to talk about. So Hartford and Stony Brook. This is a line I didn't understand. So Hartford on my end should be past 5. Instead, they're 2.5. I know they even opened at 1. Very, very quickly moved. But so Hartford just loses to Stony Brook in a close game. And for me, that game played out to the point where I don't even know how Hartford lost that one. But if you look at the box scores just in general, I know that I'm not a surface level guy, but I know some of you are. Hartford did whatever they wanted inside. They did not shoot very well from 3, and they lost the foul battle by 10, which put Stony Brook at the line a tremendous amount more times than them. I just think in a spot where at home, if fouls equal out, I think Hartford has a good chance to beat this team by double digits. So 2.5 is a small number for me. Again, I line it past 5, so that makes it an easy play on my end. So Hartford minus 2.5 for Stony Brook, and that was minus 105 at DK. Again, it's a pure matchup play. I think that Stony Brook stole a win yesterday. And I think today Hartford will be able to take advantage and actually close the game and win. I know that they had to battle back because they went down, I think, double digits. I think they went down as much as 15, and they had to battle back. And they kind of did. But again, now, tables have turned with this now being in their own gym. And like I said, Hartford, it's such a bad matchup for Stony Brook. I really feel like they just stole one yesterday. And now we get a better number here all around. And I really love the spot with Hartford in their own gym. So those are the 2 I like today for this video. And Steve, to answer your question, where's that Holden guy? Holden is doing a NASCAR video on the DFS end. I don't know if he's doing it with JSU or whatever, but yeah, he bounced me. I was removed. You hate to see it. You just hate to see it. But no, Holden will be back next week. So looking forward to meshing with him. And yeah, Stevie brings up a good point. So Butler's in a great spot today. The problem I have with Providence is, to me, they're the exact opposite of Georgetown, right? Georgetown has really struggled to cover spreads. I know that they were able to cover the 20 plus yesterday. But that was kind of a sweat for a while, right? I think that Providence, on the other end, has been so good against the number. And I know they've been overachieving. And at what point, do you modify your priors on them? No pun intended with them being the Friars. But I mean, do you update your priors because they've been really exceeding expectations all season long? Or have they really reached their ceiling? And in a game like this where Butler's kind of struggling or been struggling all year, the Butler spot makes sense for sure, getting 3.5. I've been burned a little too much by Butler. So I kind of stayed away. I chose to stay away today. But yeah, no, I could definitely see Butler being a sharp play, especially at 3.5. Missouri State, they play Northern Iowa. Yeah, so it's another perfect example, right? So Northern Iowa is usually one of the classes of the Missouri Valley. This year they really haven't been. I know they've been on a decent stretch. Missouri State has had a tremendous season. This team has good numbers up and down. This is the type of team that could do damage in the bracket if they get there. This is just a really good team, and maybe Northern Iowa is getting that name recognition. But Missouri State's in a good spot today. Northern Iowa is just not the typical version of their team from an elite level standpoint. And Ben Jacobson's done another good job with the squad, but it doesn't. To me, Missouri State, it would be the play. I'm not going to bet them. I have the line just slightly favorable in favor of Missouri State at current. But obviously, if it moved a bit, I would bet Missouri State, but I can't bet Northern Iowa in that game. I think somebody asked about Houston. Oh, so Kyle asked about Houston. So Houston banged me last week, right, with Memphis. Memphis played really well, and I know Memphis has got a few of their studs back, so that's why they've been starting to play a little better. Here's my problem with Wichita. Wichita is so reliant on Etienne. I think it's pronounced Etienne, and then the Clemson running back, I think it's Etienne. But so Tyson Etienne, they are so reliant on him making shots or making tough shots. And Houston is just going to make this team be almost one and done every time down the floor. And Houston's going to force his team to make tough shots. And I think that Wichita State can, but Wichita State's the team that plays well against teams that don't really force them into too much defensively. But once a game becomes a track meet or attempts to become a track meet, Wichita State has an issue. And Wichita State plays at an above average pace. Houston's going to do their best to slow this game down. To me, yeah, if I had to bet it, I would lay the 7 with Houston just because I have it slightly favorable there. But I don't love the spot by any means. Again, to me, if you're betting Houston, like if you just told me how Etienne was going to play today, I'd feel pretty confident in how the game's going to go because that Wichita State offense runs completely through him, and all he does is take a lot of tough shots. And I don't like to minimize a team to a player because at the end of the day, obviously, it is a full team game, and you'll rarely hear me say this or give this type of breakdown relevant to one player. But if you watch Wichita State play, their whole offense runs through him. And he takes just a tremendous amount of shots, and he's going to be tough sledding today. I know that they played Houston relatively close on the road. Maybe you get a better sample here. And Houston, really let UCF have it a few days ago. To me, it would make sense that they would just parlay that right into a really good performance today as well. So, but I will stay away, have the number fair, shaded a little bit in favor of Houston. St. Peter's Siena. What's current number there? Was it 122 is the number? Hold on. Oh, I might not see it because St. Peter's is Jersey, isn't it? Isn't St. Peter's Jersey? Yeah, it's in Jersey City. Okay, so I'm not even going to see the lines here. So I can't help you that much. I assume the line's about 122, 123-ish. Let me see what I have my own at for them. I don't like to bet the MAC all that much. I mean, I bet a few games here and there, but yes, I have this line I have this line 121.5. So it doesn't surprise me. I don't know what your current numbers are. But this is a game that's very likely to snail. Very much so. You have two teams that really crawl up and down the floor, two teams that both play much better defense than offense. It is just your typical game and that likely snails up and down the floor and teams, both teams taking tough shots. So even though total super low, depending what number you have, again, I have it lined a little over 121. So I'm not sure what number you got, but that's I could see if you see 123, 123.5, that under would be that look. All right, Rutgers, again, another Jersey team, so I can't bet them. But they see Purdue. Look, I personally hate Purdue every year. I just think every year Matt Painter has this team look really good, and then they just become a fade in the tournament every single year. But as far as these types of games, Purdue usually beats up on teams like Rutgers. Rutgers has been, a little stingy this year at times. They've looked really good at times, especially in their own gym. Obviously, being away here is not going to help matters. I line this a little past 10. I don't see any crazy edge here either way. So I wouldn't even give you a lean because I think the line is 11 or 10 or 10.5. So no edge regardless. Like I said, I do think though Purdue has beaten up on teams like Rutgers all year. They've lost other games this season, but against really good teams. But and I know that they went into Rutgers gym earlier in the year and lost. But again, Rutgers is different. Is a much different team in that gym. So overall, for me, I would not bet the game personally. But I do think Purdue's got a little favorable there at the number. Northern Kentucky. So obviously the game I gave out a few games ago on the YouTube solo vid. So that included Northern Kentucky I'll be honest, I don't like betting Oakland games. I think this is a very mercurial team that plays high and low all season long. They will upset very good teams and they will lose to very bad teams. I don't like betting Oakland. I think they're a little too Jekyll and Hyde for me. And they go through spurts, and yeah, they just lost to Wright State, but this is a decent spot for Oakland to do well. But again, this is a team that typically ends up playing up and down a competition too often for my liking. And yeah, they're usually the class of the horizon or one of the classes of the horizon, but I don't love anything about the line. I think it's 7.5 right now. No lean either way for me in that game. On the Temple Cincinnati end, I do. First of all, you have to wait. I know Temple potentially might get some guys back today, so I think you wait to see what that looks like. Based on how the lines moved, I would assume they're not coming back today. Temple's been a tough team to watch offensively, and Cincinnati, if you guys remember, they're a team I like betting very often, especially against inferior talent. Cincinnati struggles against the elite teams, but against teams like Temple, Cincinnati should be able to roll. But again, if Temple's going to get some guys back today, some of their studs, the line's not going to make a lot of sense to bet Cincinnati. But I will stay away from that one. And again, I'm always overly bullish on Cincinnati, and I'm not betting them in this spot. So maybe that means you should think about betting Temple, because my numbers are often bullish on the Bearcats in college basketball, at least the last few years. And I don't even want to bet Cincinnati here. So I guess with that in mind, from a neutral party, if you kind of, reverse engineer that, Temple would be a good bet. So Memphis SMU. Look, Memphis has been a completely different team since they've gotten some of their studs back. They've now won 6 in a row, and they look elite. If you watch them play, they look really good. It's really good ball movement. They have a bunch of dudes that can just pop in from three. They are an above-average rebounding team with all these guys back, and Penny Hardaway rotates through guys as well, so they're not like one-trick ponies either with just their starters. And they have multiple good scorers. SMU's a good team, but they're catching Memphis right in the middle of this, of all these guys returning, and Memphis looks really good. If Memphis can go on a run here down the stretch and get themselves into the tournament, that's a scary team. And Stevie mentions a good point as well on Kendrick Davis for SMU. If he's out as well, I think he is out. Either way, that's big news as well. So my problem is, Memphis is a tough team to really objectively handicap because, you could weigh in your priors before the year and overly weigh them. But Memphis has had so much injury rotations this year that it's hard to really know truly how good this team is. So I almost think part of you is kind of buying high on this team right now if you're laying the 3 on with SMU. But, you could also take the stance of, well, this team's even a lot better than that. And they might be. So to me, gun in my head, I would lay the points with Memphis just because I think this team is a lot better than what the numbers look like on paper. That's more than the eye test as well. Like I said, you watch this team play with all these guys back, and it's a really good team led by Penny Hardaway. So overall, call it a lean in favor of Memphis at the 2.5 number. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. I think I got everybody's questions right. So look, I gave you guys the 2 bets. There's Kirk with the late question on Creighton. So I think overall, so I did look a bit at that game. Look, Shaka Smart has done a decent job with his boys at Marquette. This is a spot though where Creighton's big boys should have a good game. And to me, can Marquette outshoot the Creighton big men inside? Because I think between Kalkbrenner and Ryan, the fuck, I can't think of the guy's name. The guy that shoots the big dude that shoots the threes for Creighton. I'm sure Stevie knows. Hawkins. Ryan Hawkins. I knew it was Ryan. I just didn't know. So Ryan Hawkins. These dudes should eat today. And can Marquette outshoot the big men for Creighton? I think that's what you're going to come down to, and how well. Because again, Marquette's going to get eaten up inside in this game by these big dudes. So, ultimately, and then they should get a lot of kick out threes as well, but Creighton can't shoot threes. So I think overall, I didn't like the idea of betting that game. I think you can target some player props in it if you have those markets available to you, because again, I think it's fairly predictable how that's going to play out, and it's just going to be a matter of if Marquette can stick their threes. Marquette will win today, and because Creighton, I feel, is a much easier ask for them to score today against Marquette. Okay, so let me see. Okay, did I talk Butler Providence? Yeah, so I spoke on it. I know Stevie Boynton said he likes Butler plus 3.5. If I would bet the game, I would bet Butler, but I don't. Again, I've lost so much money betting Butler this year. It's kind of hard to keep going back to that well. But yes, the spot makes sense. I do think Providence has been overachieving this year. However, if you've been martingaling that idea or concept that Providence is just going to, at some point going to come back to earth, you just keep losing money. So I don't want to bet this game. You got a team in Providence that's been overachieving all year, a team in Butler that's been underachieving all year. And if those roads continue to go, Providence, might run them out of the gym today. But I don't love the spot with Butler. I think it makes sense to bet him at 3.5, but I don't love it. In Cleveland State, Mollywop, Green Bay today. Nice under the radar game too. Check it out. Can you talk Houston -7? So I briefly talked on that, JW. Just before. I think Wichita State is so reliant on Etienne to play really well, and Houston. This is typically the type of game, where Houston reminds folks who the class is of this conference. But again, I thought they were going to do that against Memphis. I know that they kind of stomped on UCF a few days ago, but to me, that's irrelevant here. As far as Wichita, again, I think the game falls completely on Etienne. He takes a ton of shots and he takes a ton of tough shots. So I think if you think Etienne's going to play well today, I think you can, Wichita can win outright. If Etienne's not going to play well, I think Houston blows this team out. So that's kind of my take there, or was my take. So, and again, I have the number fairly around 7, so it's not I don't want to bet that game. So over in Creighton, I'm not in love with that. Look, Marquette's going to speed the game up for sure, but I think the number's fair, or I have the number fair. So no, I wouldn't touch personally the over at the current number, or the under for that matter. Again, I have it fair right down the middle. All right, so I gave you guys hold on. So I gave you guys the 2 bets, 2 mid-major conferences games that I like. Do I agree on Cleveland State? Where's that line? 7. So look, Green Bay sucks. I get that. I'll tell you this though. This is a spot where I don't ever bet on a team like Cleveland State. I'll tell you this. Like I'm much more of a get back to the median or get back to the mean type of better. And you look at a team like Cleveland State who comes off a mollywopping of a game, and they've blown out teams like Green Bay all season long. And then Green Bay's just been horrid. This team doesn't score points. It's so I get it. It's just not a spot where I ever fade a team like Green Bay in this spot. This is one of your, you're really selling low on Green Bay here. So yeah, not a spot I would bet personally, John, but I could see why. I could see why you would like it. Is Faxman ever coming on a show again? Josh, he was on last week. Did you miss the show last week? But yeah, he'll come back on, I'm sure. And I'll be honest, Kevin, I'd love to give you a take on Michigan and whiskey, but I have not bet the Big Ten much at all this year, and I have not followed it much at all this year. I think that conference is a bit fraudulent, but I haven't followed it, so I don't even want to I don't want to put you down a rabbit hole for the wrong reasons. I don't have a good take there for you at all. My numbers haven't lined up on the Big Ten either, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been betting it to that conference. So, love to help you, but I don't have any wise advice for you there. Okay, so other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out. Nice little quick 25, 30-minute show. I I wish you guys all nothing but the best of luck today. Again, you'll see some more solo college vids from me. It was nice to pick up 2 wins in those solo vids this week. So, get us back on track at 2-2, and then we'll build from there. Hopefully we hit a few of these live plays today. Felt like we should have went 2-0 yesterday with how that first half went in Citadel. But either way, maybe the tide's turning regardless. And it's a good feeling. So this week you'll see more college content from me. Obviously, we'll be back with the golf video in the middle of the week, and then expect one tennis video this week as well, with all these big tennis tournaments now coming, rising up. But other than that, look, gamble responsibly, folks. Stay safe, and as always, run pure. Catch you guys next.